Morning, guys. It is Tuesday morning. This is Coach Heather from Boot Camp. We are going to be talking about goal setting today. I've done a few talks in the gym about goal setting. I've done a few guest speaking events at different parts of the community. Today I want to do it online because it is a great thing that we overlook. Very often goal setting is overlooked. And it's something that you can never be too good at. So it's always good to come back to it, revisit, refresh, and see what else we can add to our goal setting repertoire. What other tools, what other tricks we can add. So basically, when we look at goal setting, we can look at two different kinds. We can do, hey Debbie, we can do outcome goals, which is basically we're looking at performance-based. We want to hit a certain mark by a certain time. The other thing we can do is look at behavior goals, things that we want to do to change our skill set, to change our behavior, to work towards a certain goal. So keeping in mind that there are two different types that we can do. And then we want to look at how we can break things down and set ourselves up for success. So there is the SMART breakdown. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. So those are ones we've gone over in the past. Another one that we use with precision nutrition, what I'm trained in, certified in, we do the 5 S's. So very similar, but with this one, they start simple. So just like our SMART, start simple. Nothing too intimidating, something that can easily be done, something manageable, but that is important for you. So thinking of something that is attainable, simple, that we can definitely attain. Segmental. So it needs to be part of a bigger picture. So what is the one thing that we really want to focus on? And then we're going to look at steps to get there. Sequential, those steps need to be done in order. So when we identify the steps that we need to take to reach our goal, we also need to think about which one needs to come first. So it needs to be strategic as well. So addressing the biggest thing that is preventing you from your progress right now. And then supported. So it needs to be accompanied by support from membership, from a coach, somebody who's going to keep you accountable. And it can be somebody who you see on a regular basis, a coach, a trainer. It could just be a loved one, a family member, a friend, somebody that's going to help you through this journey. So let's look at a few examples. And then keep in mind that if you have any specific examples, that is what I'm here for. Reach out. I'm going to be posting some worksheets and some infographics under this video as well after it gets posted. But let's say the goal is to lose weight. Well, that's very vague. Can we measure it? Is it realistic? Is it timely? So we need to get specific with it. We need to get smart with it, right? So let's look at the first step. So over the course of time, we want to lose weight. Yes. How are we going to do that? What are some of the practices? What are some of the behavioral goals that we can set for ourselves to try and get there? With nutrition, a lot of it comes down to eating slowly and then being aware of when we're hungry and when we're full. Those are the first two things that we need to master before we look any further, is really breaking down and getting some good skills set right off the bat. So we recommend about 2 weeks. So when we break things down, oh Debbie, when we lose weight overall, it is going to come off in different places at different times. There are certain moves that we can do to target different parts of the body. However, overall, we want to be losing in general. So yes, Debbie, I will reach out to you and we'll talk more about your specific goals. But just in general, to lose weight, let's say that we want to be doing something for 2 weeks. So our first thing we're going to do for 2 weeks to work towards our larger goal of losing weight is that we're going to practice eating slowly. If we can, undistracted, having time, no distractions, no pressure, no kids squawking, and it's nice to sit down as a family and spend that time. So eating slowly. We don't want to be shoving food in our mouths in the car on the way to work. back and forth. So if we can, we want to take the time, eat slowly. We're going to practice that for 2 weeks. You would be surprised. You're sitting there like, oh, I eat slow enough. You would be surprised when you really are mindful about what you're doing, how you can really make big changes in short periods of time. So taking the time to eat slowly. Why do we want to eat slowly? Because it takes time for the food to get down and for our body to react. If we just scarf back a plate full of food, we're not giving our body time to register the intake and send the messages to say, you know what, I've had enough. So a lot of people will eat a little bit of their food, relax for a couple minutes. If they're still hungry, go back to it rather than just finishing all at once. So eating slowly, that first 2 weeks. After we've taken the time to mindfully eat slowly for 2 weeks, then we could look at adding something else. The next step would be to really be mindful of when we're hungry and when we're full and listening to our body. So now that we're eating slow, we can start to let those messages register properly and we can pay attention to them. Then we're eating when our bodies need it and not just when we're at a certain time or at a certain spot in our day. We're being mindful of when the body really needs food and energy. So from there we progress through. I like to think of my goals as onions. So I peel back. In the middle is really the sweet spot. That's what I want to get to. That is my ultimate goal. But it's not going to happen overnight. So I've got to peel back the layers. So with this one, we start with eating slowly. Then we look at listening to our bodies. Then we're going to add some meal planning, some meal prepping, and work on all these different skills to eventually get to our ultimate goal of weight loss. But being mindful that nutrition is key. We want to set ourselves up for success. So it's like that old adage of, biting off more than you can chew at once. We want to start slowly, set those goals that are going to be simple, segmental, sequential, strategic, supported, and then work our way through. We want to look at things that we can practice on a daily basis and then are going to build skills towards achieving our goals. So we've talked about our weight loss example, and we've gone through there. After that, I do have a worksheet that I am going to attach here to help you work through those goals as well. How are we doing for time? Oh, lots of time. Good, good. Then, phases of going through. So first we need to sit down and really identify what is important. What is the goal that we want to be working on? And it's got to be for you. So thinking again, we've talked about the 5 S's. Let's go back to our SMART analogy. So specific. It's got to be for you, for your goal. And then we break it down. So that goal of wanting to lose weight, way too vague. So we need to be more specific. And rather than weight, sometimes let's look at inches. Let's look at body fat, other measuring tools rather than just always the pounds on the scale. So finding something specific. It needs to be measurable. That is probably the one that people forget. We need to know when we're there. So, hello, we need to know when we're there. So when is the starting point? When can we see some progress towards that goal as well? If it's just to lose weight, if that's just the goal, well, how do we know when we're making progress and when is enough? So we're going to work through, make sure it's measurable, attainable. It has to be realistic for you, and that's why it's specific for you. So attainable, something that's realistic. We have to think about that when we're setting our time frame with goals as well. Is that what is attainable for you in that specific time? It is nice to start small and set several goals on the way up to that larger goal. So realistic. Am I personally going to set a goal to do 50 pull-ups off the bar unassisted? No. Would I like to do 6? Absolutely. So working my way up to those 6 pull-ups off the bar unassisted would be one of my goals. And then timely. We need to know when we get there, when we can celebrate things along the way. So thinking about that SMART analogy as well. Lots of different ways that we can tackle goals. Just depends on you and your personal goals and how we want to go about getting there. So If you have any specific questions or any specific goals that you want to work to, let me know, and I am more than happy to sit down, take the time, and walk through goals with you, keeping in mind that they can range all the way across the board. So we can start with performance-based goals, specific things that you want to do in the gym or things that you want to add to your day. So maybe you want to start walking for 20 minutes every other day. Or maybe you want to be able to do 10 push-ups in the gym, or maybe you want to have something specific in terms of outcome, or maybe it's more of a behavioral goal, drinking water, getting sleep, some of these other benefits. If you're coming into boot camp or you're exercising and you have that on a regular basis and you have that down pat, let's start looking at some other things that we can do to add it. And that is one of my goals here as manager at boot camp, is to help with the nutrition part of it. We often say you need 2 hands to clap. We need the exercise. We also need the diet and the meal plan to work together to get progress, to get towards those goals. So if we do have the exercise under control, then yes, we can look at having some nutrition goals in mind. And there's nothing wrong with having 2 or 3 goals at once. Something that is going to help with... Okay, my phone just shut off there. There we go. All right, so nothing, I'm not sure exactly when it skipped out. Nothing wrong with having 2 or 3 goals, and definitely we don't want to over prep or over plan. So keep in mind, choose the one that you feel is inhibiting you most from getting that progress. More than happy to help you out with that, guys. But also have some balance as well. So, if we're struggling with nutrition, we really need some goals to work through. Let's also do some smaller performance goals there and have some fun. So, little nutshell about goal setting. The difference between outcome and behavioral goals, keeping that in mind as you set them up. And then thinking about those letters to work through. So, SMART, or the 5 S's. I'm going to post some graphs about that after to complement this video. And then just breaking it down, chipping away the layers of the onion. So starting small, setting those smaller, 1 week, 2 week goals, where you want to be in a month, where you want to be in 2 months with it. Things are going to change. So be flexible with it. But it is nice to have that vision going forward. What are we working towards? It's dangling that take care of per se. This is where I want to get to, but it's also important to celebrate those small successes along the way. We have to acknowledge those things because all progress is good. So making sure that you're having that chance to celebrate as you work through to those larger goals, peeling back those layers of the onion. Every time we get success, we want to celebrate, encourage, and even plan your successes if you want. When I was preparing to do a Spartan race, I had some specific goals that I wanted to meet. And when I got there, I knew exactly what my reward was. Even though it wasn't my ultimate end goal, I still wanted to celebrate and keep myself motivated because my long-term goal was about 4 months. That's a long time to try and stay motivated for that end result. So definitely as we work through, you want to be celebrating those smaller successes. And there's nothing wrong with planning ahead to say, okay, ultimately, I want to lose 5% body fat. When I reach 1% body fat loss, I'm going to go and get a new pair of jeans, or I'm going to take myself out for dinner, a cheap meal, no regrets. It's nice to have those rewards that will keep you motivated, and then reach out for support, get a gym buddy, accountability partner, reach out to myself. That is what I do. That's what I'm here for, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully I see you in here at the gym. If not, give us a call, set us up, and we'll get you in the gym. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you guys next time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.